Every couple has their own rituals. Some are cute, like Sunday morning pancakes or weekly date nights. Some are silly, like arguing over who controls the TV remote. But ours? Ours happens once a month, on the last Saturday, and it transforms us in ways we never expected. I'm Ethan, and on that one special day each month, I become her, my feminine self, fully supported, fully seen, fully loved by my wife, Mariah. You might be wondering what that looks like, or why we do it, or how it even started. But here's the thing. This month was different, more daring, more intimate, more real than ever before. Because the moment Mariah opened that box she'd been hiding all week, I realized this wasn't going to be just another beautiful transformation day. This was going to change everything. Let me take you back to how this all started. It was years ago. We'd been married for a while, comfortable with each other in that way couples get when they've shared everything. Dreams, fears, embarrassing stories, bad haircuts. One night, during one of those late-night conversations where you say things you'd never say in daylight, I told Mariah something I'd kept hidden for years. I told her about the side of me that felt softer, more expressive, feminine even. I expected hesitation, maybe confusion, but Mariah? She just smiled and said, "Show me." So we started experimenting. A dress here, some makeup there. At first, it was awkward, like learning a new language with your mouth full of marbles. But over time, it became something beautiful, something ours. We turned it into a ritual. The last Saturday of every month became our day. A day where I could step into that other version of myself, without judgment, without fear, without pretending. Mariah became my biggest cheerleader, helping me pick outfits, doing my makeup, laughing with me when the eyeliner went sideways. At home, it wasn't unusual to see me in a sundress or a flowing skirt, feeling the soft fabric against my skin, moving differently, speaking differently, being differently. And Mariah loved it. Not because she wanted me to be someone else, but because she got to see me happy, confident, expressive in ways I couldn't be any other time. The ritual became our safe space, our way of reconnecting emotionally when life got too busy or too heavy. It was never about labels or definitions. It was about us, two people who loved each other enough to create space for every version of ourselves. But after years of the same routine, something was about to shift. Mariah is the kind of woman who notices things. She noticed when our ritual started feeling predictable. Same dresses, same makeup looks, same gentle, comfortable routine. Don't get me wrong, it was still meaningful, still beautiful, but Mariah wanted more. She wanted fun. She wanted to see a side of me I hadn't explored yet. She wanted to shake things up in the best way possible. So one afternoon, about a week before our monthly ritual, she went shopping. Alone. Without telling me. She walked into a boutique downtown. The kind with dim lighting and displays that make you blush just looking at them. And there, hanging on a mannequin like a dare, she found it. A sexy black latex French-maid outfit. She stood there for a full 5 minutes, debating. Would I go for it? Would it be too much? Too bold? Too different. But then she imagined my face when I saw it. The shock. The nervous laughter. And maybe, just maybe, the thrill of trying something that pushed me just a little further outside my comfort zone. She bought it, along with fishnet stockings, garter straps, high heels, and all the accessories that would complete the fantasy. For the entire week, she hid it in the back of her closet. Every time I walked past, she'd get this mischievous little smile. The one I've learned means she's planning something. But when I asked, she'd just shrug and say, "You'll see." If only I'd known what was in that little shopping bag, I might have spent the whole week blushing. Or maybe I would have run. Or maybe, just maybe, I would have counted down the hours even faster. When I woke up that last Saturday of the month, I felt the familiar flutter of excitement in my chest. Transformation Day. I stretched, smiled, and turned to see Mariah already awake, sitting on the edge of the bed with that look on her face. The mischievous one. The dangerous one. "Good morning, beautiful," she said, her voice sing-song and playful. I laughed. "What are you up to?" "Oh, nothing," she said, standing and walking to the closet. "Just thought we'd try something a little different this month." Different. That word hung in the air like a question mark. She pulled out a large black box tied with a white ribbon. My heart started beating faster. This wasn't the usual garment bag. This was intentional, planned, dramatic. She set the box on the bed and stepped back, arms crossed, grinning like she'd just won a bet I didn't know we'd made. "Open it," she said. I hesitated. Then I pulled the ribbon loose and lifted the lid. Inside, folded neatly and gleaming under the bedroom light, was the most audacious thing I'd ever seen. A black latex French-made costume. I froze. My brain stuttered. I looked up at Mariah, then back down at the outfit, then back at Mariah again. "You're joking," I said. "I'm not," she said, still grinning. I started laughing, not because it was funny, but because I didn't know what else to do. Nervous energy poured out of me in waves. "You really want me to wear this?" "I really do." I looked at the outfit again, the glossy latex, the tiny apron, the deep V neckline, the fishnet stockings coiled beside it like a dare. And then I looked at Mariah, at the woman who had never judged me, never made me feel less than, never turned away from any version of me I'd shown her. I took a deep breath. "Okay," I said. "Let's do it." Her face lit up like sunrise. Mariah moved with purpose, laying everything out on the bed like a surgeon, preparing for an operation. First, she brought out 2 soft silicone breast forms. I'd seen them before in videos online, but holding them in my hands was different. They were surprisingly heavy, realistic, real. "These," Mariah said, "are going to give you the full effect." She helped me position them inside a deep V-shaped latex bodice insert that would sit beneath the dress. The moment they settled into place, I felt it. The weight on my chest, the gentle bounce as I moved, the new center of gravity that pulled my posture straighter. I looked down and saw cleavage. Actual cleavage. "Oh my God," I whispered. Mariah laughed. "We're just getting started." Next came the sculpting hip and butt padding. She helped me step into it, pulling it up over my hips and smoothing it into place. Instantly, my silhouette changed. My hips widened, my backside rounded. I had curves, exaggerated, feminine, impossible to ignore. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and barely recognized the shape looking back. Then came the dress itself. Mariah held up the black latex mini dress, and it gleamed like liquid night. She helped me step into it, pulling it up slowly over my padded hips, past my new breasts, settling it onto my shoulders. The latex clung to every curve, every line. Every inch of the padding became part of me, sculpted into an hourglass silhouette that looked like it belonged on a movie screen. The dress featured a deep V neckline that showcased my new cleavage, white frilled trim along the edges, and a tight, curved waist that cinched me in. At the front, a tiny white apron hung delicately, barely covering anything. I could barely breathe, not because it was tight, but because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. "Stockings next," Mariah said, handing me a pair of black fishnet thigh-highs. I sat on the edge of the bed and carefully rolled them up my legs. The fishnet clung to my skin, rough and delicate at the same time. Mariah knelt in front of me and attached them to the dress's built-in garter straps, snapping each one into place with a satisfying click. The stockings pulled tight against my thighs, held perfectly in place, framing my legs in a way that made them look longer. Sleeker, undeniably feminine. Then came the heels. Shiny black high heels that matched the latex perfectly. Mariah guided my feet into them, buckling the straps around my ankles. When I stood up, everything changed. My posture shifted. My hips swayed. My legs looked impossibly long. I felt taller, more confident, more powerful in a way I'd never experienced before. Mariah stepped back and added the final touches. White wrist cuffs that snapped around my wrists, the mini apron tied tightly at my waist, and a small made headpiece that she pinned carefully into my styled hair. Finally, she handed me a feather duster. I stood there, holding it, dressed head to toe as a latex French maid, and I didn't recognize the person staring back at me in the mirror. Curvy padded hips, full, bouncing cleavage, latex shine from my torso to the hem of the dress, fishnet legs held by garters, high heels that shaped every step, the maid headpiece, the duster. This wasn't just feminine, this was bold, seductive, playful, daring, and I loved it. Mariah stood beside me, beaming with pride. "You look incredible," she whispered. I couldn't speak. I just stared. I thought the transformation was complete, but I was wrong. But Mariah wasn't done yet. What she said next nearly made me fall out of my heels. She had another twist waiting. Mariah turned to me with that same mischievous grin and said the words I never saw coming. "Every maid has a duty, and today you're in charge of the kitchen." I blinked. "Wait, what?" "You heard me. We're cooking dinner, together. And you're doing it in that." I looked down at myself. The heels. The short dress. The latex that squeaked every time I moved. The stockings that made every step feel delicate. You're serious? Completely. I started laughing again, this time out of sheer disbelief. Cook? In heels? In a latex maid outfit? But then I saw the look in her eyes. She wasn't teasing, she was excited. I thought the hardest part was wearing the outfit. Turns out, that was the easy part. She wanted to see if I could do it, if I could push myself just a little further, if I could embrace this version of myself in a way that wasn't just about looking the part, but living it. So I took a deep breath, gripped my feather duster like a sword, and said, okay, let's cook. We decided on our favorite meal: homemade pasta with garlic butter shrimp, roasted vegetables, and a side salad. Simple, but it would require actual work. And I was about to do it all in 4-inch heels. The moment I stepped into the kitchen, I realized how different everything felt. Walking in heels on tile flooring was like learning to walk all over again. Every step required focus, balance, intention. My hips swayed with each movement, and the latex dress squeaked softly as I bent down to grab a cutting board. Mariah leaned against the counter, watching me with pure amusement. Need help? She asked. Not yet, I said, determined. I started chopping vegetables, carrots, zucchini, bell peppers, and quickly realized that bending over in a latex mini dress was an experience. The dress rode up. The stockings pulled tight, and every time I moved, I was hyper-aware of the curves the padding gave me. Mariah laughed when I almost dropped a tomato trying to reach across the counter without losing my balance. Okay, maybe I need a little help, I admitted. She stepped beside me, steadying my hand as I finished chopping. We moved together, her guiding, me learning. She handed me ingredients. I stirred the pasta. She seasoned the shrimp. I plated the vegetables. There were moments of pure chaos, like when I tried to spin around dramatically and nearly slipped on the tile, or when I leaned over the stove and the apron strings got caught on the oven handle. But there were also moments of pure joy, Mariah and I laughing so hard we had to stop cooking, her reaching over to adjust my headpiece when it slipped, me twirling in the middle of the kitchen just to hear the latex swish and see her smile. The kitchen became more than just a place to cook. It became a stage, a playground, a space where I wasn't just dressed as a maid, I was embodying it, moving differently, thinking differently, feeling confident in a way I never had before. By the time the food was ready, we were both exhausted, laughing, and strangely proud of ourselves. But the best part of the ritual wasn't the look or the cooking. It was what happened after the meal. We sat down at the table, still in full transformation mode, and ate the meal we'd made together. The pasta was perfect. The shrimp were buttery and garlicky. The vegetables were roasted to perfection. And sitting across from Mariah, still wearing the latex dress and heels, I felt something I didn't expect. Pride. Not just in the food, but in myself. In us. Mariah looked at me and said, "You know what I love about this?" "What?" "It's not about the outfit. It's about seeing you let go, seeing you trust me, seeing you be you without holding anything back." I felt my throat tighten. She continued, "Every month, I get to see a different side of you, and every month, I fall in love with you all over again." I reached across the table and took her hand. "I never thought I'd feel this. Free," I said. "Not just in the clothes, but in my own skin. You make me feel like every version of me is worth celebrating." She squeezed my hand. "Because it is." We sat there for a while, eating and talking about the ritual, about how it had evolved over the years, about how it kept our relationship playful, emotionally safe, and deeply connected. I realized in that moment that the ritual wasn't about gender. It wasn't about clothes or makeup or roles. It was about trust, acceptance, and the kind of love that says, "I see you, all of you, and I'm not going anywhere." After dinner, we didn't rush to change. We stayed in the moment. We moved to the living room, still in full transformation mode, and curled up on the couch together. Mariah took a few photos, just for us, just for the memories. Me in the maid outfit, holding the feather duster with a dramatic pose. Both of us laughing, cheeks flushed, eyes bright. "This might be my favorite ritual day yet," Mariah said, scrolling through the photos. "Mine too," I admitted. "I never thought I'd enjoy it this much." "That's because you let yourself actually live it," she said. "You didn't just wear the outfit, you became her." She was right. For those few hours, I wasn't Ethan pretending. I was her, confident, playful, fully expressed. And Mariah had created the space for that to happen. I kissed her forehead. "Thank you." "For what?" "For seeing me, for loving me, for making this safe." She smiled. "Always." As I sit here now thinking back on that day, I realize something important. The transformation wasn't just physical. It wasn't just about the latex dress or the heels or the makeup. The real transformation was internal. It was about learning to trust myself enough to be vulnerable, to let someone see the parts of me I'd hidden for years, to step into a version of myself that felt scary and thrilling and right all at the same time. Being seen and loved in every form. That's the true transformation. Mariah and I didn't create this ritual to fit into anyone's expectations or definitions. We created it for us. To reconnect, to explore, to celebrate the fact that love doesn't have to look like anyone else's love. It just has to be honest. And if Mariah has her way, which, let's be honest, she usually does, next month might be even more surprising. I don't know what she's planning, but I know one thing for sure. I'll be ready. And something tells me Mariah already has the next outfit hiding somewhere in the house, because every month we do this. And every month, it transforms us in ways we never expect. If you enjoyed this story, leave a comment and let me know. What rituals do you and your partner share? And if you want to see more stories like this, subscribe and hit the bell, because we explore what it means to be truly seen. See you in the next transformation. The end.
The Gender Diary exists to light that path with shared stories. Whether you found connection in this narrative, you're on your own journey of gender exploration, or you're here seeking understanding, your subscription fuels our mission. Every subscriber empowers us to keep illuminating these authentic experiences for our community. Kindly drop a comment below. Your voice adds to the tapestry of experiences that makes this space meaningful. Until our next story unfolds.